Good day, class. So we are now in the last topic for the course outcome 2, coordinates and change of bases. So let's start with the objectives. First, we have to find a coordinate matrix relative to a basis in Rn. Find the transition matrix from the basis B to the basis B prime in Rn. And represent coordinates in general and dimensional spaces. See the uses of the transition matrix. The transition matrices are incredibly versatile tools, especially in fields where systems change states over time. Here are some of their most interesting and useful applications. One is Markov chains. Transition matrices are the backbone of the Markov chains, where the future states of a system depends only on its current state, like the weather prediction, modeling the likelihood of sunny, rainy, or cloudy days, board games, and simulations. Remember, when you do uh, simulations, there are objects are moving and making transitions, predicting customer behavior. The behavior of the customer change, and you have to make transition. It's like a game that you have to win the customer um, in any business. It is also used in PageRank algorithm. Transition matrix is used by search engines like Google to rank web pages based on the probability of landing on a page through random web surfing. Image processing. In image recognition, each image becomes a point in an n-dimensional feature space, allowing classification and clustering. Analyzing how pixel intensities change, especially in tasks like segmentation or noise reduction. And again, in game theory and decision processes. Uh, these transition matrix are very useful in these concepts. And when you go to higher um, mathematical concept, you'll be meeting these concepts, and again, you'll be using the transition matrix. Okay. All right. Let's start with the basic concept again, and let us know the coordinate representation in Rn. So we're talking about the real numbers here. So in theorem 4.9, we saw that if B is a basis for a vector space V, then every vector x in V can be expressed in one and only one way as a linear combination of vectors in V. The coefficients in the linear combination are the coordinates of x relative to B. In the context of coordinates, the order of the vectors in the basis is important. So this will sometimes be emphasized by referring to the basis B as an ordered basis. What is the coordinate representation relative to a basis? Let B be an ordered basis for a vector space V, and let X be a vector in V such that X is the linear combination of the vectors in B. So X is equal to C sub 1, V sub 1 plus C sub 2, V sub 2 up to C sub n, V sub n. And of course, the C sub i's, or the C sub 1 up to C sub n, are the scalars and the coordinates of X relative to the basis B. So the coordinate matrix or coordinate vector of X relative to B is the column matrix in Rn whose components are the coordinates of x. So if we have this symbol, so we use this symbol x sub b, no? The coordinates of x relative to b is c sub 1, c sub 2, c sub 3. And in Rn, column notation is used for the coordinate matrix. So for the vertex x, x sub 1 up to x sub n, the x sub i's are the coordinates of x relative to the standard basis s. Okay? So you have x relative to s is equal to x sub 1, x sub 2 up to x sub n. Okay? So let's have an example for you to understand fully what is being uh, explained in the definition. Okay. Find the coordinate matrix of x, negative 2, 1, 3 in R3 relative to the standard basis S. Okay, so we have this 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 0, 1. So how are we going to do this? The vector x, so this one, can be written as the linear combination, okay? The linear combination of the standard basis. So negative 2, here you go, that is your scalar times the vector 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, and then we have 1 times this one, v2, and then 3 times v3. Okay, so when the coordinate matrix of x relative to the standard basis is simply, okay, so you multiply this, negative 2 plus ito, 1, and then you have 3. Okay, so you have to write this in a column. Okay, so since it's standard, you see the x is similar to the x in R3 is similar to the coordinates of x relative to the basis. Okay, so let's have another one. The components of x are the same as its in orders relative to the standard, no? Relative to the standard basis. Now let's have the coordinate. That's example 2, no? The coordinate matrix in of x in R2 relative to the non-standard. So we have here the non-standard. So your B is 1, 0 and 1, 2. Okay? So, and your coordinates relative to B is 3, 2. Okay. So, to find the coordinate matrix of x relative to the standard basis, so we have to use the B prime. Okay? Because in here, we have the coordinates of B. And we're looking for the coordinates of another vertex, another vector, I should say. Another vector, which is a standard one. Okay? So, let's name that as B prime. All right. Again, here are the given. Okay, the given. So, we write now the linear combination. So we have here 3, okay, 3 and 2. That's the coordinates. So V1 and V2, and V1 is 1, 0 and 1, 2. So when we multiply 3 and add it to 2, okay, so that is our first component. And for the second component, the 0, 3 times 0 is 0 plus 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So this is 5, 4. And you can also write this as, if we factor out 5, then that will be 1, 0. We separate them. No? If we separate them as the first component and then the second component. So 4 times 0, 1. And you see here, these are standard. No? These are the standard. Okay? So it follows that the coordinate matrix of X relative to B prime, relative to the standard basis, no, is 5, 4. Okay, so that's the result. Okay, so from 3 to the uh, making transition from uh, B to B prime, okay, with the standard basis, okay, and that becomes now 5, 4. All right, now you can see here the figure. This is from the non-standard, okay, and this one is the standard, okay. All right, another example. Find the coordinate matrix of X, 1, 2, -1 in R3. Oh, in R3, relative to the non-standard basis. Again, uh, this is our non-standard basis. Let's name that as B prime. Okay. Begin by writing X as a linear combination of U. Okay. Again, this is our X. Okay, and again, we are going to use the linear combination. So we have to apply C1, C2, and C3 as scalars. So then we have to solve for C1, C2, and C3. Again, in here, we multiply the first term, so C1 plus 0, C2 plus 2C3. Okay, and that is our first component. For the second component, this is 0, and then negative C2, which is this one, and then 3, multiply that, 3C3. Okay, and for the last component, C1, multiply this, C1, and multiply this, 2C2, multiply 3C3 to -5. Okay, and here is the result. So then, uh, with this, again, we can create now the system of linear equations that first component is equal to 1. That will give us the first equation. And then the second component, that's equal to 2. All right, and then the third component, -1. So writing this as a linear system, okay, then we create now the um, augmented matrix for us to solve C1, C2, and C3. Now, what you see here, okay, just writing into a matrix equation, no, this one, no, and for this equation, we're looking for the values of C1, C2, and C3. And from the augmented matrix, okay, remember we have the augmented matrix here, okay, and we have to change that to, again, using your calculator, you can change this to this form, okay, and with this, we have the identity matrix here, okay, and so from there, we can say C sub 1 is equal to 5. Okay, C sub 2 is equal to -8. And C sub 3 is equal to -2. So by checking, you can substitute the value. So we have 5 here. Okay, for C1, we have 5. Okay, C2 is -8 and C3 is -2. When you multiply this, 5 plus 0 minus 4 is equal to 1. Okay, and then multiply this, 0 plus 8 minus 6, and that is equal to 2. Then you have 5 minus 16 plus 10. Okay, that will give you -1. So you have the correct values for C1, C2, and C3. Okay, there you go. Next. So that's your answer. Okay. Now, how do we change now the um, basis? in Rn. The procedure demonstrated in example 2 and 3 is what we call the change of basis. Okay, that is, you were given the coordinates of a vector relative to a basis B, and we're asked to find the coordinates relative to another basis B prime. Okay, assume that B and B prime, no? We have the vectors in B, V1 up to Vn, and B prime, U sub 1 up to U sub n. So the coordinate matrices of X relative to B and B prime, no? Relative to B and B prime as shown. And then the transition matrix P from B prime to B is written in this form. Okay, so this is like your equation. Okay, this given. It's a formula. Okay, now the next theorem tells you that the transition matrix P is invertible and its inverse is the transition matrix, okay, from B to B prime. So the transition matrix from B to B prime, so you can find that, you can find the uh, x coordinate of x with respect to B prime is equal to the inverse of P times the coordinates of B. Okay, remember from the previous you have x as sub B is equal to P times x B prime. Okay, and then so for the theorem 4.20, the inverse of the transition matrix. If P is a transition matrix from basis B prime to B to a basis B, then P is invertible. And the transition matrix from B to B prime is P inverse. Okay, that's the transition matrix. All right, so this is just the uh, lemma or the theorem that will support the previous theorem, no? So these two bases for vector space, these two, the B1, B1, B and B prime, be the two bases for the vector space B. So if we have vector 1 is a linear combination of the vectors in B prime, okay, and then we have several equations, and the transition matrix of B to B prime is written this way, right? So that's actually the coordinates. Now these are the coordinates, the coordinate matrix of this equation, okay, of the transition uh, matrices. All right, so the transition matrix from B to B prime. So let B and be the set of vectors V, and B prime set of vectors U sub 1 up to U sub n. Okay. Then these two bases are in Rn. Okay. Now then the transition matrix P inverse from B to B prime can be found by using the Gauss-Jordan elimination. Okay. So we put the B prime, if we're looking for the uh, B to B prime. Okay. So what we can get here after uh, doing the Gauss-Jordan elimination or the RREF, okay, RREF, rho reduced epsilon form, okay, nalimutan pa. So you have to change B prime to I, and whatever the result here is your P inverse. Okay? So for example, find the transition matrix from B to B prime for the basis for R3. Okay, so we're given, uh, notice that this one is a standard basis, no? And B prime. Then we have to write in matrix. Okay, so in here, okay, notice here 1, 0, 1, that becomes now the column. Okay, this one becomes a column. That's how you write this way. Okay, then you uh, get the adjoint matrix B prime and B. Again, now you're looking for the basis from B to B prime. So we have the B prime here. Okay, start. That is okay. Then you reduce to rho epsilon form, or rho reduce epsilon form. And this one, so this is now I. Okay, change now to I. And again, no, you are to use your calculator here, finding the inverse. Okay, and this is the result. Okay, so that is your P prime. Okay, so you can conclude that the transition matrix from B to B prime is P inverse, given. And note that the B prime given here is the same as in example 3. Okay? When you multiply P inverse by the coordinate matrix, all right, which is given in example 3, you can see the result is the same. Okay? All right. Finding the transition matrix, again, use for example 5, we have B and B prime. Okay, you have to form the matrix. This time, no, there is no standard basis here. Okay, from B, it says here from B to B prime. How are you going to arrange your matrix here? B prime and then B. Then you have negative 3, 2 for B. So B prime first. B prime negative 1, 2, negative 1, 2. And then you have 2, negative 2. Okay. Then you have negative 3, 2, 4, negative 2. The row becomes the column. Okay. So apply the Gauss-Jordan elimination. Okay. So you have here, this is now our solution. Okay. That's a transition matrix from B to B prime. Okay. All right. Let's move now to the coordinate representation in general and dimensional spaces. All right. One benefit of coordinate representation is that it enables you to represent vectors in any n-dimensional space using the same notation used in Rn. Let's have an example. Find the coordinate matrix of P equals 4 minus 2x squared plus 3x cubed. So this time we have the coordinate representation in P3. Okay, so polynomial. And relative to the standard basis for P3 is S equal to 1, x squared, x cubed. Remember, no, this is a standard basis. So let's have the solution. All right, the solution. Again, we have to write the P as a linear combination of the basis vectors in this order, which is given in the problem. So P is equal to, you have 4 times, remember the P in standard in the previous slide, no? You have 1 x, that's P3, no? X square and x cubed. And notice here that x term is missing, so we have to put 0 here. So we have negative 2x squared and 3x cubed. So what do we have? So the coordinate of P relative to S is 0, 4, negative 2, 3. Okay? And note that the coordinate matrix of a vector in P3 is also a vector in R4. So there's a change in, so if you want to make a vector in polynomial to a real number, okay, so we can do that in transition matrix. Another example, find the coordinate matrix of x, negative 1, 4, 3 relative to the standard basis for m sub 3, 1. Okay, so we have 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 0, 1 for our solution. And this can be written as, yeah, that negative 1, 4, 3 can be written as, if we separate each component, so that this will happen, no? So negative 1, 1, 0, 0, 4, 0, 1, 0, and 3, 0, 0, 1. And what you can see here, the coordinate matrix of x relative to s is negative 1, 4, 3. Okay? All right, so next here are the exercises. Okay? Let's have number 1 here. Number 1 is basic, no? There are some with solutions and there are some with no solutions, but there are answers. So this is your work already because these are exercises. But let us just discuss some of those that have a solution. Okay, in here you are asked to um, find the coordinate matrix of x relative to the standard basis. Okay, so for number 5, you have 2, negative 1 as b and 0, 1. And given the uh, coordinate matrix of x relative to b, which is 4, 1. So to find the coordinate vector in x in the standard basis, can use this condition. Okay, so x equal to b 1, u sub 1. This is our, this will be, yeah, this, our b1 here, ito, v2. Okay, sorry, u1. u1, this is u1, and this is u sub 2. So, yeah. And this is your b, no? Because that's, I just use b1 and b2 instead of c1, c2. But it's the same. So this is your b1 and this is your b2. So you can write this way. All right, you can write this way. Your x, again, the one that you are looking for. So for the b1 and then the coordinates, 2, negative 1. So from here, we can multiply, that's 8 and plus 0. Then negative 4 plus 1, that's equal to 3. And of course, this must be in the form, in the column matrix, no? So that's 8, negative 3. So that's the answer from the book. Okay.